Namaste students, myself Sunil Kumar from the Department of Computer Science. Today we are moving to the next session based on the chapter Interface Python with MySQL. And remember, this is for 12th Computer Science topic and it is a chapter 5. And today's our topic is parameterized queries and performing insert update queries. Mainly two topics we are going to discuss in this session, and remember, it's the last topic of this chapter. So let us move to the topic now. In the last session, we mainly discussed about executive query, extract data from result set, and also clean up the environment. These mainly three topics we discussed in a previous session, or we can say that we discussed mainly steps for creating database connectivity applications from the Python, how we can connect the MySQL database, that we discussed in whole session or in previous topics. The first one here is step 1, start Python. You have to start the Python. That is, normally we can use Conda or any editor also. Okay. Normally we can use any editor. Python IDE is there, Spider is there, Itla is there, anything. Any editor in that we are comfortable, that we can use. After that, next we have to install the Conda or PIP database connections. We have to install the Conda or PIP database connections. Then after that, import the packages required for a database program. The step 2, we have to import the packages required for database programming. Mainly we have to import mysql.connector package. Mainly here we have to import the mysql.connector package. That package we can import by using the import statement. Import mysql.connector as any name you can give, or directly we can use with the mysql.connector. After that, open a connection database. You have to provide the connection using the connect function. Then you have to connect the database by using the connection object. So we can use the connect function. That mainly takes 4 arguments. One is the host name of the host, then username. Second one is a username. Third one is after username, next we can provide the password. After password, last step here it is, we can provide the database name. There are the 4 parameters or arguments are present for the connect function, so that we can use. And that database is not compulsory or mandatory. Remaining all the parameters are mandatory in case of programming. After that, you have to create a cursor instance. Next, you have to create the cursor instance. That cursor instance will create one cursor to operate on the file or operate on the database. To operate any data on the operation data on the database, we can use with the cursors. Based on the cursor, we have to write the data or we can read the data. Whatever, any operation, if you want to fetch the data also, everything is possible. And after that, next we have to execute a query that we discussed in the previous session. Next we have to execute a query. Whenever if you're going to execute the query, we are using one function execute. Cursor object dot execute is the function. Inside the execute function, we can give the queries. Which query we want to execute, that queries we can give. I gave many examples based on the execute. So we can provide different queries in that. Select star from student, that is example I give. If the data table is student and we can display all the details, means that we can use the select star from the database. So whenever if you're going to execute the query, all the results are stored in cursor instance, a cursor object. I already told what is object also. So all the result will be stored in cursors. So from the cursor, we have to result the data, or we have to extract the data from the result set. So result will be retrieved in the form of result set, that everything is stored in cursor. So from that, we have to extract the data for displaying or to perform the operations. So we have to extract the data from result set. For that also I explained how to extract the data. Whenever if you're going to extract the data, fetch all. There are 3 functions are there. One is a fetch all, fetch one, and fetch many. There are 3 functions are available. Fetch all means all the data will be retrieved and in the form of tuples. Whenever if you use the fetch one, that will also return the data in the form of tuples. And one more function is there, fetch many, that also data will be there, that also data retrieved in the form of tuples. So we can retrieve the data based on the numbers or based on any one data or one record, or we can retrieve entire record. Then after performing all the operation, next we have to clean up the environment. After that, we have to clean up the environment by closing the connection. Or we can say that by closing the connection, we have to clean up all the environment. These are the different steps for database connectivity. All these steps we discussed in a previous session. So let us move to today's session, parameterized queries. Sometimes you may need to run queries which are based on the some parameters or values that you provide from outside. Remember, sometimes we may need to run the query. Sometimes some queries will be there. Outside we have to provide the values. From outside we have to provide the values. That type of queries will be there. That type of queries or such queries are called as parameterized queries. Parameterized queries means we have to provide the values from outside. Outside from SQL query, from the Python program, we have to provide the values. That is actually known as parameters or values. That type of queries are known as parameterized queries. For example, here INP, one just value I took, INP is equal to 70. Just value I give 70. Select star from student where mark is equal to INP. So I gave INP is one variable. So that is one value. So it will check the value whether mark is greater than INP or 70. INP means 70 here. It will check the value whether value is 70 or not. So that is one parameterized query. So from outside we are providing the values. To execute parameterized queries in a MySQL.connector. If you want to execute any parameterized queries in MySQL.connector, you need to form SQL query string. First you have to form the SQL query string that include values of parameter. Remember, you have to create or you have to form one SQL query string. To work with the parameterized queries, first you have to create or you have to form SQL query strings that include values of parameter, that include the values of parameters. Forming a query string. How you can form the query string? Before forming the query string, first we need to import MySQL.connector package. Remember, these steps are also required. All the steps are required to connect the database. All the steps. So first we need to import MySQL.connector package. First step, we have to import that one. Next we need to provide the connection to database. Next we have to provide the connection by using the connect function. After that we have to instance a cursor. Cursor instance should be created. After that we should create a cursor instance. These are the different types of, or we can say these are the different steps you have to create or you have to complete before forming a query string. Then whenever you're going to form the query string, there are two methods are available. One is old method and new method. So which one is useful for you? That we can use old method or new method. New method will be easy. Old style is a little difficult. Strings templates with percentage formatting. We have to use here percentage formatting is the old method. You are using with the string templates. We are using with string templates with the percentage or the modulus formatting. In this style, the string formatting uses the general form like F modulus V. It uses F percentage symbol V or F modulus V, where F is a template string, and V specifies the value or values to be formatted using that template. Remember, here F and V we are using. F is a template string and V, that is the values to be formatted. Values to be formatted based on that template that we are using. If multiple values to be formatted, V must be a tuple. Remember, whenever if you want to format multiple values, whenever you want to format the multiple values, at that time you have to provide V in the form of tuples. So that is in case of old style. Here an example you can take, select star from student. Select star from student where mark greater than modulus S. So in above string it is incomplete string. It is not old style, not completed. F and V. In that only F is there, no V. So how we can say no V is there? So modulus S, that is means that is percentage code. Remember, that is we are using for some other values. Whenever if you are going to any letter is starting with S or any character starting with one value, at that time we are making use of that modulus S. The above string, that is an incomplete string that contains only F value. There is no V value here. Modulus V value is not there. It contains placeholder for parameter as modulus code. It contains a placeholder. We will check the places. But its parameter value is not provided. Parameter value is not provided here. To complete this one, if you want to complete this one, you must provide a tuple values. You should provide a tuple values with modulus prefixed to it next to the string. So remember, next to this string, we have to use modulus. Then after that, we have to provide the string, v string, or tuple we have to provide. Tuples you should provide. That called tuple value or tuple v. V means that is a tuple value. So that we should provide after this one. If you want to provide the value of 70 for modulus s placeholder, we above query string, in above last example I told, in this example, if you want to provide, first example is there, in this example, if you want to provide the value 70, then we can use the string like this, select star from student where marks greater than modulus s, that is one query. And remember here, modulus 70 comma. 70 comma is given because what is 70 comma in brackets? Modulus means that is v. 70 comma entire thing is known as v. So here we have provided the data in the form of tuples. We should provide v data in the form of tuples. So it should be, tuple should be enclosed with the parenthesis. Tuple should be enclosed within a parenthesis, and 70 comma means another next value is there. So tuples means multiple values are there. Whenever if you are providing the multiple values, you should end with the comma. So we can say that multiple values are there. Don't forget to close the placeholder modulus s in quotes for string parameter in string template. Remember, in string template, whenever if you provide the string parameters, whenever if you want to provide the string parameters, then we should use with the single quote. We should use with the single quote. Select star from student. Remember, select star from student where marks greater than modulus s and section is equal to modulus s. Remember, 2 modulus s is given. So in this example, first modulus s is replaced by 70. Remember, first modulus s is replaced by 70 and second modulus is a string. So in that, replaced by b. So n number of modulus s we can give. Means that number of values should be provided. For example, 3 modulus s if you provide means 3 string values should be provided, or in tuple that should contain 3 values. First modulus s will be replaced by the first 70. Second modulus s is a string or character that is enclosed within a quote. Remember, whenever is a string means string parameter means that should be enclosed within a single quote. So that is replaced by the b. So when you are going to execute this query, the value will be like this: select star from student where mark is greater than 70 and section is equal to b. So that will check the condition. That is a condition here. So to perform that one, this is the old method of performing the operations. Next, we will move to the new style. In new style of creating SQL strings, that involves the use of format method of the str type. So str is one type. In that str type, string type, we have to use one function here, that is format. Format is the function that we should use in case of SQL here. The general form for using format is, whenever if you are going to use a format function here, template dot format function p0 p1, like that we have to give the values p0 p1 and k0 equal to v0, k1 is equal to v1, like that we have to give the values. The template is a string. Remember, a template is a string containing a mixture of one or more format codes. Remember, it contains one or more format codes embedded in constant type or constant text type. Remember, in this case we have to use with the format function. By using the format function we can use. We'll move to example. We have one example I'll take. We have in flower bracket 0 is given, hectares planted to in flower bracket 1 is given. Remember, flower bracket 0 and flower bracket 1. Next I used format function. In format function 49 comma okra is given. So not okra, it is okra is given. Okra means we can say that is a plant. That plant we can say that is a lady's finger plant. Lady's finger plant we are saying that is a okra plant. So that is, remember, it is a code. So we are used with the one format function 49 and one more string is given in the form of okra. So in this example, how is the output of this? What is the output of this one? Output of this one is we have in that first query we can see 0 means first value. In case of list, in case of tuple, first value is 0, second value is 1, third value is 2, like that 0, 1, 2, 3 index value will be there. So 0 first value, so that is replaced by 49. So we have 49 acres planted to okra. Okra means second. In floor bracket 1 is given. So in format function, which is the value 1, that will be replaced. So this is actually the new method. Actually new method is easy. The next, it is also possible to provide the named arguments. Remember, string format is also possible. String format is also possible. Here you can see monster has eaten city. So monster and city is given in floor brackets. Then format, city is equal to Tokyo and monster is equal to tsunami. That two values are given. So above string template will yield following string. Output will be tsunami first, because in out input in case of values format, first value is city, second value is given that monster. Remember, when output is given, so monster is no need to in same order. No need to provide the values in same order. We can use with the different order. That is also possible, but same name should be used. So tsunami has eaten Tokyo. That is the output here, because second is city, first is monster is given. This is the second method of formatting query strings. Next, formatting insert and update queries. How we can perform the insert and update query using the new style. So before going to insert and update, explaining insert and update, you must commit your query after executing insert and update queries. Remember, normally select query if you use, there is no need to commit option. There is no need to commit your data. Commit means save the data. No need to save the data. But whenever if you're going to insert or whenever if you're going to update the data, at that time table data will be modified. Table data will be changed. So at that time you have to commit. So before closing the connection, you should commit your data. For that purpose we have to commit. So commit, the syntax here it is connection object dot commit. Connection object dot commit, that is a method to commit the data. Example here it is mycon dot commit. Mycon is connection object, my connection, mycon dot commit. Commit is method to use commit the data to save the data in a database. Next, performing insert and update queries. So whenever if you're going to insert the data, I can use one string st. St is the string I used. Insert into student. Remember, insert into student. Roll number, name, marks, grade and section. There's the 5 parts or 5 columns. Values. In the first I give in flower bracket, empty flower bracket. Next flower bracket I give in a single quote because that is a string. Next one I give one more integer or whatever floating point. Next 2 is given, next 2 flower brackets that are also enclosed within a single quote. Remember, first one is integer or floating point, second one is string, and last 2 also string. Then I use the format function, format 108, the first value. Second value is RAM, that is a string. Next value is 84.5, that is a fraction value or you can say floating point value. Next grade is A. Next is section I give you that C. Then after that all the string will be stored in, st object or st variable. Then I can use cursor dot execute of st. So if I use like that, then data or query stored in st, that will be going to execute. Then after that I have to use mycon.commit, means after executing insert statement we have to commit, means data will be writing into the database. Next, performing insert and update. One more update query here. How we can perform the update? st is equal to update student set marks in flower bracket empty is given, where marks equal to one more flower bracket. 2 flower brackets are given. Then format 77, 76.5. What happens here means first flower bracket it will take the value 77, second flower bracket it will take the value 76.5, means value 76.5 is replaced by 77. Then I'm going to execute cursor.execute, I'm going to execute the st here. Then after that mycom.commit. Commit means here data will be committed, or we can say data will be stored inside the database. These are the committing or performing the insert and update queries. By here we reach the end of session today. In this session we mainly discussed about how we can perform the queries, different queries, and how we can perform the queries string. How you can form the query string. Old method and new method. There are two methods are there to form the query string. Old method you have to use the modulus s, then modulus string you have to use. A new method we are using with the format function. In new method we are using the format function. Then after that we discussed with how to perform the commit operation. Commit operation is required to store the data in database or to save the data in database. After commit function, next we discussed performing insert and performing the update operation. How to perform the insert operation and also how to perform the update operation we discussed in this. So based on this one, I'll give the worksheet, work out that one. We will meet in next session. Thank you.